Okay, guys, and we're back with another video. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast, and today I'm joined with a very special guest, Andrew from Boxing Bros UK.
Oh,
Now, Boxing
bless you.
Bros are a great YouTube channel, and I've been fans of for a while, and there's no better time than now to talk about all the craziness that's going on in the world of boxing. So, Andrew, how are you, mate?
Oh. Yeah, bless you. Thanks for that introduction. Thanks for that
Of
introduction.
course.
Yeah, lovely to be on your channel. We've collaborated before, and yeah, this guy Seth knows his stuff. So if you haven't subscribed and all that stuff, all the usual stuff, click it. Takes 2 seconds, get it done. But yeah, all good. Lots of good and bad nonsense going on in boxing, as is always the case. Seth, I'm I'm
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be getting into it.
So the super fight of the 2020s, in my opinion, Canelo v Crawford is not that far away from where we are now. What are your predictions for Canelo v Crawford?
Oh, straight in there with a big question.
Yeah.
I think I've been saying this for a little while actually. I think for me, obviously Canelo's what is he 35 now. I think we've seen the best of
Mm.
Canelo, but I think at super middleweight at 168, I think for me the way where my head's at with this, I think we saw obviously Crawford go up to 154, didn't we, against Madrimov,
Yep.
and it was quite a close fight. I think putting on the weight's not going to be so much of the problem, but I think where I'm at with this is that the weight is it's going to be going up another two weight division up to 168.
Yep.
You know, I mean that is a big jump, and skill set wise, of course, Crawford's a generational talent, one of the all
Yes.
time pound for pound greats, without a doubt. I think the problem's going to be though coming in at 168. Not sure he's probably going to I don't know what he's going to rehydrate at on the actual fight night, but with all of that extra weight, and there's not going to be a great deal of junk on him. I don't think there's going to be a
No.
great deal of fat on him. He's going to have to move in there against Canelo. He's not going to want, I would imagine, to be sitting in. I'm not suggesting this is going to be a Tom and Jerry fight, as Turkey Had a Sheik likes to say,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like we saw with Skull and Canelo, I think
Yeah.
Crawford will pick his moments. I don't think he's going to get in there, sit in the pocket, and start trading with Canelo, because I think there's going to be a power disparity there for me.
Mm.
100%. It's just how I see it. So he's going to have to get on his bike a bit. He's going to have to get in, get his shots off, get out, move around a bit. Going up to 168, he's getting his late 30s now.
I think
Is
Crawford's
he going to be
40.
able to do that?
Crawford's no
Yeah,
spring
Nick.
chicken. He's been around for a while. I want to say Crawford's 40.
Yeah. So my issue is, I can see what the game plan is going to be, but is he going to be able to do that
Mm.
as an aging fighter, with regardless of how talented, how great he's been, going up at weight right up to 168, being able to move around for that long and not let Canelo get to him? I see Canelo stopping Crawford late on,
Oh, wow.
and it almost pains me to say it,
Yeah.
because I kind of don't like the way Canelo's career's gone, and I'm a big fan of both, particularly Canelo's not so much the last 5 years, but
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of Crawford. He's a fabulous boxer and talent, but uh, for me, it's too big of a jump. That's just my honest feelings on it,
Yeah.
Seth.
Uh,
But I'd love to get your take.
Honestly, I tend to agree. I think Canelo, in my opinion, is beyond a world class operator. He's one of the best we've seen in the sport. You know, multi weight division world champion. Went up to 175, claimed a world title there, knocked out Kovalev in a fight that he was losing, and then he did lose it to Bivol. But again, Bivol's a generational talent, one of the best light heavyweight, well, the best light heavyweight right now. So, in my opinion, no shame in
Yeah.
losing to him. He went back down to super middleweight, became undisputed again. Again, super middleweight's not a division blessed with loads of depth, but everyone that he's fought, he's made pretty easy work of. And the last couple fights, you see Balanga, Munguia, Skull, particularly in Munguia and Balanga, those guys were young, undefeated fighters when they fought Canelo, right? They had everything to gain. And Canelo didn't really even get out of second gear against those guys, right? Of course, you can't put those guys in the same conversation as Terence Crawford, right? Terence Crawford, in his own right, undefeated multi-weight world champion, was 2 times undisputed at 2 different weight classes, which is I think it's unheard of in the sport. Claiming in the four belt era as well, 4 belts in two
Mm.
weight divisions is insane. That being said, he's really a 140, 147 pound fighter. who had one fight at
Oh,
154.
absolutely.
Had one fight at
And
154.
not a massive 147 fighter as well, Seth, we have
No.
to. Not huge.
Yeah.
Errol Spence was a big 147,
Yeah.
in his prime. Not a massive one. Boots Ennis, massive
Yes.
147er, rightly gone up to 154.
Yeah.
Crawford's not a huge. He's not a huge one. He wouldn't be huge at 154 as we saw against Madrimov, who was a
No.
good amateur. Madrimov was a very good amateur.
Yes.
Of 300 fights to amateur, decent pro, very elusive, not the most entertaining, right?
Yeah.
Let alone then going up to 160, not even one, and then another jump up to 168.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of size to make. Look, I know Conor Benn is nowhere near, but don't laugh. But
Yeah.
you look at how that played out. I know
Yeah.
Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn aren't a Canelo Crawford. I get
Yeah.
that. But you look at all the hijinks
Yeah.
with the rehydration and the within 10 pounds on the day of the fight. I mean, I don't know about you, Seth, but
Yeah.
after I've had a coffee in the morning, I've put on 10 pounds. I mean, I'll probably have 10-pound shifts, which is a bit inappropriate, but chucking out. I mean, that's not a lot of weight, mate.
No.
Not a lot
No.
of weight. You've had your first meal of the day. You've put on 15 pounds.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So, and then we saw Conor Benn. All right, he had his moments.
Yes.
He had some good moments in there, but he was going life and death in there, particularly in the 12th round against a weight drained, aging
Yeah.
guy who's campaigned at 160, but really is a 168 fighter. Legs are completely gone, no energy in there.
Yeah.
This is what, again, people need to understand. I'm sure your viewers know. We have weight divisions for a reason,
Yeah.
because of the advantages that brings.
Yeah.
I'm 6'4" and 17 stone, not the best boxer. I was sparred a bit back in the day, had a couple of little fights. But if I got in there against a very reasonable welterweight who was much higher skill set than me, I only really have to land once or twice and I'll get the job done. He could be
Yeah.
peppering me all night, but he's not going to do anything just because it's just such a big weight advantage. It doesn't matter how much skill you've got, which also, by the way, is what makes Usyk even more incredible, in my opinion.
Yes.
So, yeah, you can make a case skill set wise. Crawford navigates it, but is he, Seth, going to be able to do it for 12 rounds
Well, this is the thing, and I think a lot of
at that
people
weight and age?
exactly, and I think a lot of people in the boxing media they're making it sound like it's skill versus size, almost like David Havey
Yeah,
Valuev. It's not. Canelo is a
yeah,
very, very skilled boxer in terms of setting
yeah,
traps, head movement, feinting, applying pressure, putting his hands together. He's a very talented boxer. So
yeah,
Crawford will
true.
do very well to outbox him because not many people can outbox Canelo. And we look at the guys who
Good
have
head
beaten.
movement.
He's got very good movement.
Canelo, good.
Yes, and that's the thing with Terence Crawford. We're asking the question: will he be able to engage and be quick enough to get out of there? Because that's the only way he really wins this. The guys that have beaten Canelo have been guys who he either can't land on in Floyd or guys in Bivol who Bivol throws so much volume and can take Canelo's shots at 175. Canelo basically didn't have anything for him. Can Crawford take those shots? That's really what it comes down to. Because in terms of fundamentally being as elusive as Bivol, he probably is, but Bivol's elusive in a different way. He uses a lot more footwork and ghost steps, and it fights a much more traditional Soviet style. So it's a very different style to Crawford. But that's what we need to see from Crawford. If he's going to have success against Canelo, he needs to be able to take a shot because he's not. No one's good enough, maybe apart from Floyd, to avoid Canelo's shots for 12 rounds. You're going to get caught. Canelo, even though Crawford's smaller, he's going to be faster. You're not that far. Like no one's. Canelo will land. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't avoid him for 12 rounds, and we'll
Yeah.
see. Particularly at 168, he's dropped a lot of guys at 168. Plant, put him on his ass. Put Belanga on his ass, and these are
I think that was his last knockout when it Plant, but I think you can
yes,
dissect that a bit more where he's going through the motions. I think with John Ryder,
yeah,
obviously Charlo, people like that. Yeah, you can break it apart, but I think he wasn't really having anyone in there that was willing to take him into deep waters like we saw with Triple G.
yeah,
And we haven't seen Canelo. He's another one. I remember slowing it down right, and Golovkin, who we know one of the best 160ers, one of the best middleweights we've
yeah,
ever seen. unbelievable, great power,
Yeah.
absolutely great power. Cool. No, actually, it was the other way. No, called Golovkin flush on the chin, and Triple G didn't even move, but he had one of
Yeah.
the most granite chins. But Canelo has got a fantastic chin.
Yeah.
So is Crawford going to be able to get enough respect from? Because we saw Bivol, because Canelo was having to bridge that gap. Bivol was too big, too strong in
Yes.
there, I think, and was able to get enough of Canelo, but still didn't. He didn't knock
No.
Canelo out. Is Crawford going to be able to get his when he kind of hits him? Is he going to be able to? Is Canelo going to feel enough? Is it going to maybe get him to second guess it and take a back seat a little bit? So, actually, he's got a bit of pop in there. I better be careful here. I don't think so at 168. And also, when Canelo kind of wings in that body shot that he likes to
Mm,
do before he goes up top,
yeah.
and he lands it because the body's a much bigger target to hit.
Yep.
And also, he does like to, like we saw in the Callum Smith fight, he likes to kind of hit you on the arm. He hurts you wherever he hits you.
Yeah.
Very heavy-handed for 168. That's going to drain Crawford's tank
Yeah.
as well. He's already going to be, his stamina is going to be in question because of his weight and age, and also he's going to be taking heavy shot. The more I talk about it now, the more I'm convinced Canelo's going to win.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. I mean, from day one, I've thought a Canelo probably a points decision victory for Canelo in my opinion. But I wouldn't be surprised if he could stop Terence Crawford because again, he's going to be by far
unanimous then? No, unanimous split, or what? In terms of, do you have
the
a
thing.
kind of
The thing
think a bit close, or
it's hard because we really want to see how Crawford's boxing on the night because early on in the fight he'll be quick enough to pick up rounds. He'll be quick enough to get in and out, land some combinations, and
yeah,
maybe at times outbox Canelo. But doing that over 12 rounds is going to be very difficult. Particularly, Canelo can be a guy that can grow into the fight as well. He typically is. In terms of a guy, he makes his reads early on in the fight, doesn't have huge punch outputs. He throws some stuff out there, sees what you can give him, gets some different looks, and then come the fifth, sixth, seventh, he'll start to turn it on, apply the pressure, maybe go for the finish, or just really switch it on and, claim that
yeah,
12 round decision, right? But
yeah.
Crawford's a guy who's never been in that position, apart from maybe Madrimov, where he starts off well and then a guy grows into the fight and he starts to lose. Crawford's never lost, right?
I'm trying to think, I'm trying to go back to like, Ricky Burns. I'm trying
Yeah.
to think like, Sean Porter,
Well,
Errol Spence
he did get
dispatched off
rocked.
easily.
He did get rocked by Gamboa, who's 130-pound
Gamboa,
fighter.
yeah,
And that
yeah,
was, I
yeah.
believe, De La Hoya was making that point. Terence Crawford got rocked by 130-pound Gamboa. How is he going to take a punch from former light heavyweight world champion Canelo? You know,
There you go.
yeah,
Well, this is why it's such a fascinating fight, though, isn't it?
yep,
Because, yeah, like you say, I think people are going on about, they're almost kind of marketing it
yeah,
as the skillful, generational, multi-undisputed champion versus the big, strong, powerful, thick-necked Mexican. And it's like, hang on, this is a multiple weight world champion, um, very skillful fighter, gets his head off the line well,
yeah,
got good IQ, close it. He's a combination really of kind of Beterbiev, and I'm trying to think of he's sort of got a little bit of everything,
yeah,
Canelo. Like, his jabs, I know his output has flattered to deceive a little bit the last few years, but there
mm,
might be just one last hurrah for him in this fight that gets that one last great performance out of him. But like you said, I think it's a great point. We're making out that like it's like the slugger versus the skip, and it's like Canelo against anyone else is probably generally the better boxer. I
yes,
mean, he's won on
exactly, yeah,
point against all of those people,
yeah, yeah,
or a lot of those wins. So it's like it's a bit of a strange one to make. I mean, I know Crawford is exceptional,
yes,
but maybe it is a cliche, but I just think it's just too bit of a bigger gap to fill, like we saw with Canelo versus Bivol up at
yes,
175. Yes, he beat an aging Kovalev past
yeah.
his prime.
But
I
with
think we
losing that
saw this
fight,
with Nicky Garcia. I
yeah,
think went one weight division too far. We've seen this time and time again. One weight, James Toney all the way up to heavyweight, Roy
yeah,
Jones Jr. all the way up to at some point you're going to bite off more than you can fucking chew. That's what I'm trying to say here, Seth.
Yes. No, I agree.
And this might be the night we see that with Crawford, I'm afraid to say. And I don't say that with any pleasure, by the way.
Yeah. And I like what you said, where this fight may be. There's a saying, all great fighters have one last great performance in them. We've actually seen a couple
Yeah.
from Manny Pacquiao, but this may be it for Crawford as well. Not to say that his
Yeah.
previous performances,
True.
he's won them. At the end of the day, he's beaten guys in world title fights, but they've not been amazing performances. And you look at the Skull fight, it's hard to judge Canelo off the Skull fight because Skull was really giving him nothing. Skull was on his bike for 12 rounds. At the end of the day,
Terrible.
it does take two to tango. As much as we'd want to say, it was a boring fight, it does take two to tango. And Skull did need to sort of engage if they were going to have a fight, right? But
Yeah.
that being said, this
Yeah.
definitely could be, again, both guys, neither guy's a spring chicken. It could be one great performance, one last great performance from either guy. Crawford,
Or both.
it could,
Maybe even both.
I mean, do you think, how crazy would it be if we saw like a Canelo v Triple G sort of thing? We see a draw and then they rematch, and it could get crazy, and crazy amounts of money could be made for these guys. But yeah,
It's possible. It's
it
possible.
is.
I think the first 2 or 3 rounds are going to be key because if and the reason I say that is because if Canelo manages to catch and close a ring off kind of early
Mm,
and is able to kind of wing a big right hand into the body,
yeah.
and Crawford takes it well and he's still moving quite well after
Mm,
2, 3, 4 rounds, that'll tell us a lot.
yeah.
And also, what will tell us a lot if that Crawford's able to stick that jab out, catch him with a few right hands, and get Canelo's respect where he is actually having to think a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we're going to know after 2 or 3 rounds. The first round I think will be cagey, but I think we'll know after 2 or 3 or 4 rounds how it's going to be because if Crawford's really buckled early by a big body shot, because
Mm,
I think that's going to be the tactic. I do think
yeah.
I don't think he's going to go headhunting Canal. I think he's going to go to the body because Crawford's tricky, we know that, but the body's a big target to hit. And I think it it's going to be really interesting when he catches him on the arm. It's
Yeah.
going to be really interesting. Naturally bigger man, how much that is going to maneuver Crawford around the ring and
Yeah.
really, because it might just be a case of Crawford's not able to get his rhythms off because he's just getting hurt everywhere and it's
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? That's what I think's fascinating about this. Oh, we just don't know.
No. But also, Crawford could do the same thing to Canelo. We could see a Crawford that's going
Maybe.
to the body of Canelo because, again, Canelo's a guy who's very hard to hit clean on the head. The body's a bigger target. Crawford may start to, try not apply pressure, but try and be in and out and try and evade Canelo's big shots, dart in, hit
Mm.
the body, get out. Right?
Yeah.
Because even
Yeah.
though Crawford is older than Canelo, Crawford's not got the miles on the clock that Canelo's got at all.
True.
You know,
Yeah.
Crawford's a lot of his fights he just outclasses guys, but again, this is the biggest puncher he's fought, the biggest guy he's fought at a weight division he's never fought at before. Like I said, the more we talk about it, the more I favour Canelo. But from day one, I favoured Canelo. I thought this would be not
I
an
think
easy win because Crawford's no easy customer for I don't care what weight division you're at because
mm,
he's that elusive, he's that talented, he's got so many levels to his game. But like you're saying, they've tried to market it as skill versus size, but Canelo's going to have the size advantage, and in certain aspects of boxing, he's going to have the boxing advantage too. Inside, if he's
yeah.
applying pressure, there are parts of boxing that Canelo is better than Crawford at. In terms of staying on the outside and the jabs and perhaps the feints, Crawford will have that advantage. But these aren't things that Canelo can't do. Canelo's got these things in his bag as well. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
a super interesting fight. And you see, this fight,
The only I just
yeah,
wanted to add,
go
Seth,
on.
the only thing I know, because I've gone right in with Canelo here, but the only thing, the question marks I have in this fight for Canelo is that he's had, what, 60 up 5 fights or something like
Yeah,
that now. He's had a very, very long career.
mm,
He's had those wars with Triple G.
yeah,
He had a very difficult fight against Dmitry Bivol.
yes,
Had a fairly competitive fight with Kovalev
yes,
before that ended. Up at 175. That would be my only question mark is that, yes, he's 35, but those miles on the clock might be a bit older.
Yes, I
So
agree.
that's my only question mark. Can he? He will have to throw more shots in this fight. Is he able to do it? That's a little bit of a question mark for me. That one.
Yeah, and if he can't, then Terence Crawford will start to pick up these rounds, and before you know it, you're in the
Nick 'em.
10th,
Yeah,
11th, 12th round, and you've lost the fight. So
yeah.
a Crawford
I
decision
can
win
see
is
that
possible.
happening.
Yeah,
If Crawford nicks it, it would not surprise me. That's the
no,
thing. I'm not going back on my predict, but Crawford nicks it, it
yeah,
wouldn't surprise you because he's that good.
yeah,
But very, very fascinating fight. Very interesting fight. Really looking forward to it. Generational fight, really is. I just hope it's not one-sided because of the weight differences. That's what I'm hoping.
yeah,
I don't think it'll be too bad, but I'm really, really fascinated to see how Crawford reacts to the shots. That's what
yes,
I'm most intrigued about because I think there'll be a look on his face of I can take it,
yeah.
or it might just be affecting him too much.
We'll find out early,
We'll
and
see.
that's really what makes this fight so interesting. But yeah, we're not
Yeah.
far away. We're at the time of recording this, we're a few weeks away from that fight. So, like you said, I really can't wait. But
Mm,
I've taken more
yeah.
than enough of your time, Andrew.
Bless you.
Thank.
I've got to get out actually. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay,
it's been a
yes,
pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
I'll let you go. As always, a pleasure to chat boxing with you, and hopefully next time we'll have Chris on the channel as well. But more than happy to have you on as well, mate, because you're another boxing fan who knows boxing. You understand the sport. You know there's levels to the game, and you take it seriously as well, which I always appreciate. And like I said, always a pleasure to have a chat with you. So yeah, thanks for coming on the channel, and we'll chat soon.
Kind words, Seth. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe to his channel and check out ours as well and all that jazz. But yeah, kind words. Absolute pleasure, Seth. Anytime, mate.
Great.
Anytime.
And thanks. And we'll have Boxing Bros description, a link to their channel or in the description for these vids as well. So yeah,
Bless you. Appreciated.
thanks, mate.